Hi, I am Sarah Howe, and I teach sixth grade social studies here at Jefferson. I've been teaching for over 18 years, and most of that has been here at Jefferson. I've taught sixth, seventh, and eighth grade social studies as well as English, and have done some electives like multimedia and yearbook and things like that along the way. Our study of social studies this year will start with geography because it's important to know where we are before we start studying the people. So we will cover some map skills, maybe not quite as much mapping as we would do in the classroom, but we'll find some fun ways to do that online. Latitude and longitude, landforms, and then we finish up with 5 themes of geography. And the idea of 5 themes of geography is taking the places and things that we've learned about and sort of connecting them back to the people and the choices that they make. And so this ties really well into our movement from geography into history, because the 5 themes talk about things like human environment interaction and how the people are shaped by the land that they choose to live in. And so that's really a big focus for us in sixth grade as we start moving into history. History curriculum in sixth grade is History Alive, the Ancient World. And it's supposed to be exactly what it sounds like. History is supposed to come alive with some of these different great activities. And I promise to do my best to try to simulate that online. So once we do get into the history part of things, we start with the rise of civilizations. We're looking at river cultures and why they chose to settle where they did. Then we move into ancient Egypt, India, China, Greece, and Rome. And as we're looking at those places, we're looking at religion and economies and the beginning of government and things like that. So we'll be progressing through each of those different locations. All right. In addition to history, throughout the entire year, there are several things that we cover. A lot of that has to do with the fact that I am the only teacher who has all of the sixth grade students. So I see everybody, and therefore a lot of the basic technology skills and things are sort of doled out within my class. So we'll do a lot. The first 2 weeks, we will not even get into history or geography yet. We're going to start with technology, getting people really comfortable with all of the things that we'll be using, especially now that we're online. Keyboarding will also happen during my class. It actually will happen as part of our advisory. So in the last 10 minutes of class, starting next week, Mrs. Ratliff will be joining us. That's our librarian, and she's going to kind of walk us through keyboarding. If you want more information about that, she has her own video if you go back to that main page. We'll cover research skills, lots of focus on reading and writing. I work really closely with the English teachers, and we collaborate as if we're a block almost. So you'll see things really kind of tying together in those classes. And then, of course, dealing with some of the rules and social emotional stuff and things like that. All right. Materials for this year are a little bit different than previous years. Of course, you're going to need that Chromebook and the textbook, which I showed you at the beginning. Now that is available online, and everybody will have online access to that, but we'll also make available hard copies if people would like them. We don't use those until around November. So when the time comes, I'll let people know how to access those if you'd prefer a hard copy. Pencils and paper are great because sometimes you don't want to be on the computer all of the time. So that gives you, sometimes people like to write things and then take a picture of them. That's the same reason I have the art supplies on the list, because occasionally we will do different projects that you could do digitally, or you could choose to do your own piece of artwork and send it in. So for example, a poster, you could either do a digital poster or you could paint me a poster. So it's totally up to you if you prefer sketching or whatever else. There are lots of things where you can have options as to whether or not you want to do them online or whether you want to draw them or paint them or whatever and take a picture. This is the typical class structure. 15 to 20 minutes of Zoom instruction, followed by some work time. I envision leaving the Zoom open during this time, and kids can just kind of pop in and out and ask me questions. I'm not sure how that'll work out over time, but that's at least how I'm going to start things out. And then also I'll be checking email during that work time, because some kids don't feel comfortable popping in on Zoom, but they can send me a question, and that's fine as well. The last 10 minutes will come together for advisory. I just did put a note at the bottom. There are times when the Zoom would be longer, but that's only on days where there would be less independent work and something that we're doing interactively together. So if you've ever seen like kids play Kahoot or do a Nearpod together, these are things where they're interacting with the technology throughout the whole thing. And so that would be different than just sitting and listening. If we're just kind of listening to instructions, it's probably going to be about 15 minutes. Now, on Wednesdays, students will just have about a 30-minute lesson from each class. That's what we call the asynchronous time. So they might have a short video, 5 to 10 minutes, and then like 20 minutes of an activity to complete during that time on Wednesdays. Parents always ask about the difference between Skyward and Schoology, but I think it's especially important this year. Skyward is for viewing grades and other records and things like that. It's great for checking students' progress, seeing what their grade is, seeing how they did on an assignment that has already passed. But that's just what it is. It's a record of grades for past assignments. So what Schoology is that's the place that's going to be like our virtual classroom. That's where the Zoom codes are going to be. That's where they're going to see class updates, assignments, due dates. It's where the rubrics are, where they're going to see how they earned the grade. And then that grade will be put in on Skyward. But the real feedback and information is on Schoology. So basically, the big difference is that Skyward is a record of what's already happened, while Schoology is current. It's what's happening right now. It's what we're working on, and it's where we're active. Well, you've had a lot of information tonight, and there will be a lot more to come tomorrow. But if at any point you have any questions, please let me know. My email is sahow@osd.wednet.edu. My voicemail is 360-596-3291. Both I will return within 24 hours, probably sooner, on school days. And also keep in mind that you can check Schoology and Skyward to find information as well. So I look forward to seeing all of the students tomorrow, and I hope you all have a good night.